Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to my video. My name is Nawafil Satria Ramadan, and this is my persuasive speech about the moral ethics of cloning. So, as we advance rapidly in biotechnology, cloning remains one of the most controversial subjects, evoking strong opinions and questions about our values and responsibilities. While cloning holds immense potential, we must approach it with caution and with a deep respect for the natural order. So, first, let's start off with what is cloning. So, cloning generally refers to a process of creating a specifically or genetically identical copy of an organism. This can apply to cells, tissues, or an entire organism. The most famous example is this Dolly the sheep, the first mammal cloned from an adult somatic cell in 1996. Since then, the possibilities of cloning have expanded, raising both hope and concern. From an ethical standpoint, cloning presents several challenges. The most immediate concern is the welfare of the cloned animals, since the process of cloning is far from perfect, often resulting in high rate of failure, deformities, and premature death. It's also noted that the cloned animals that do survive frequently suffer from severe health issues. For example, Dolly herself developed arthritis and other ailments at a young age, leading to her premature death. Thus, subjecting cloned animals to such risk and suffering raises serious ethical questions about our right to manipulate life for our processes. So, and when it comes to when it comes to human cloning, the ethical stakes are even higher. The concepts of cloning humans conjures image of designer babies, loss of individuality, and the potential abuses of power. The idea of creating a human life in a lab challenges our deepest beliefs about identity, uniqueness, and the sanctity of human life. Cloning could lead to a society where human beings are modified, valued not for their inherent worth, but for their genetic makeup. This could exacerbate social inequalities and create new forms of discrimination. Furthermore, cloning undermines the natural process of reproduction and evolution. By creating genetic replicas, we interfere with the natural genetic diversity that is crucial for survival and adaptation of the species. This genetic diversity is what allows the population to withstand diseases and environmental changes. By prioritizing certain genetic traits, we risk narrowing the gene pool and making the species more vulnerable to extinction. So, let's take a look at some of the rising concerns about cloning. So the first one is the disruption of natural reproduction. Sexual reproduction promotes genetic diversity by combining genes from two parents. This process leads to an offspring with unique genetic makeups, increasing the chances of beneficial mutation and adaptation. Cloning produces genetically or identical organism, effectively bypassing the natural mechanisms that generate genetic diversity. For example, in humans and most animals, the child inherits a mix of genes from both parents, resulting in unique genetic profiles that enhance the species' abilities to adapt to environmental changes. Genetic diversity is crucial for the resilience of populations as it allows the species to adapt to changing environments, resist diseases, and maintain overall health. By creating identical genetic copies, cloning reduces genetic diversity, making clone populations more vulnerable to diseases and environmental changes. For example, a population of cloned animals could be wiped out by a single disease to which they are equally susceptible due to their identical genetic makeup. Next, we come to the natural selection and evolution. Evolution relies on the Evolution relies on the genetic variation and natural selection. Mutations and genetic recombination introduces new traits. New traits, some of which may provide survival advantages and are naturally selected over generations. Over time, species evolve through the gradual accumulation of beneficial traits, improving their chances of survival and reproduction. Cloning interrupts these natural evolutionary processes by artificially replicating specific genetic traits, potentially halting the natural progression of the species. If cloning becomes widespread, the natural process of selecting the fittest individuals for reproduction could be overshadowed by human preferences for certain traits, leading to unintended evolutionary consequences. If cloning becomes widespread, the natural process of selecting the fittest individuals for reproduction could be overshadowed by human preferences for certain traits. Yeah. Next, we come to the ethical considerations. Now, cloning raises ethical questions about the extent to which humans should interfere with the natural processes and the potential long-term consequences of such interventions. Cloning endangered species might help them, but it does not address the root causes of the decline, such as habitat destruction and climate changes. The introduction of clone organisms into natural ecosystem could also disrupt ecological balance, leading to unforeseen consequences by other species or for other species and the environment. Clone plants or animals introduced into the wild might outcompete or displace native species, disrupting existing ecological relationships. So, in conclusion, the ethics of cloning demands a careful, measured approach. While the potential benefits of cloning are significant, they do not justify the ethical risks and moral dilemmas it presents. We must prioritize the welfare of living beings, respect the natural order, and uphold the intrinsic value of individuality and diversity. By doing so, we can harness the power of biotechnology responsibly, ensuring that our advancements serve the greater good without compromising our ethical integrity. And that will be all for me. Thank you for watching this video, and I apologize for any mishaps along the way. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.